Hi, everybody. Awesome. It's Kingsley Ime here again, the success coach, the business development consultant, and your host for today. I am so excited. I am so happy that we're still in the same journey of how to be on radio for free. How to be on radio for free is the series that we've been on, and this is the second module that we're taking. And on this second module, we will be talking about how to get paying clients, how to get people to buy from you on radio. While you're on radio, how to convert people from listeners to people that are going to want to buy and do business with you. Either you are selling products or you are selling services, but you are featured on radio for free. And what an awesome way to have one of the greatest trainer, speaker in Nigeria. I call him the greatest because I have seen him, I have followed him, I have observed him consistently doing amazingly well for the past 10 years. I don't know when he started, but I knew him in 2011 when I attended one of his meetings in the city of Uyo in Niger Delta, Akwa Ibom State to be precise. Of course, that's in West Africa and in Nigeria. And right from that very first day, he blew my mind away. And I've been following him. I've had the privilege of him mentoring me. I've had the privilege of him coaching me as well. So when we talk about someone who is doing and has done absolutely amazing stuff, George Essien is that person. George Essien is a peak performance consultant. In fact, I think he's the #1 peak performance consultant in Nigeria. He is a motivational speaker, an unapologetic one at that. He's also the president of Podium Dynamics Academy. George Essien has high-flying clients under his belt, the likes of DHL. He has a lot of oil servicing companies under his belt, people that he trains per time on their different businesses. He's an astute consultant, and what a way to have such a phenomenal person on the training today. Now, let me share something with you about George Essien. George Essien has been on radio for 3 years plus, for free. Yes, for free. And he's been on television for over 7 years. As a matter of fact, today I had to go dig in and look at some of his old pictures of when he was on television. And I laughed and I smiled and I read, and I was just amazed that one person could find a journey, stay on the journey, and continue in the journey. So I'd like you to open up your heart, open up your mind, and get ready to learn how you can be on radio for free, and how you can as well, sell your product on radio, and get people to, while you're talking about what you do, people who want to buy from you, people who want to connect with you. How are you doing once again, Mr. George? Good evening and welcome.
I'm doing very great, Kingsley. It's nice to be here. Amazing work you're doing. Hi, everyone. My name is George Essien. I'm delighted to be with you, and I hope that you get value. In the few minutes I'll be sharing with you, I hope your life changes. What I recommend that you do is that take down a lot of notes, because sometimes you may not fully understand what we're sharing unless you take down notes, and then subsequently think about them. After you're taking down notes, think about them, and the next thing you want to do is implement. You get fantastic results. You get 10x results from whatever results you're already having. Just one piece, one little piece in what you already know can change your life around. And radio is one. So thank you, Kingsley, for the opportunity. And I'm sure that everyone will get value. Few minutes, I'll take your questions also. If you have questions, you can give them to me, but get your biro and then write down as much as you can write. I'll try and be as practical as possible, and I hope that you implement. All right.
Thank you. So he's talking about notes. I already have my notes here with me. That's to tell you how serious I am, because I remember when my brand was struggling to come up, I had to sit down with George, and a few words he said, and I wrote them down and I practiced them, turned my brand totally around, and he has done same for a lot of people. Now, let's start with asking you, sir, and if you're just joining, please indicate that you're joining and get your questions ready, because we're going to be taking a whole lot of questions today. All right, let's start with, sir. Is it really possible for one to be on radio for free? I mean, is it really possible? And if it is possible, how can someone who is not know, how can someone be on radio for free? Someone is watching right now, someone is listening right now, and is curious to know what are the practical ways one can be on radio for free.
It's very easy. I'm sure that the speaker who came yesterday must have said this. To be on radio for free, it's easier than anything, easier than salt, easier than getting salt so from the market. Because you see, simply go to the radio station and tell them that you want to be a guest artist. But again, that's the answer to that question. Go to a radio station and tell them that you want to be a guest artist. We call it guest artist. That's in radio language. You go to a radio station, they want to be a guest artist. That is, you want to add value to them. But again, what kind of guest artist do you want to be? What area, what kind of solution are you providing? So let me tell you my own story. I lived in Lagos for 24 years. Then when I started coming around here for schooling, I decided to listen to radio. I started listening to radio a whole lot. And I realized that radio was the main thing here. Radio at that time, we had only one radio station. And right now we have like 4 or 5 radio stations in my city. In Lagos, when I left Lagos, we had 14 radio stations. As we speak today, you have over 70 radio stations in Lagos, even community radio stations. In Enugu, in Abuja, radio is huge. People who
in Port Harcourt, we have 14 radio stations now. 14.
Amazing. People don't have lights as much as you think, so they listen to radio. They're driving their cars, they're listening to radio. They are home and late at night, they don't have lights, they're listening to radio. So radio plays a role, a major role. So I listened to radio in my city, and I noticed a lacuna. I noticed that there was preaching, people were preaching the word of God, amazing. People were doing politics, sharing all kinds of stuff, but there was no motivational speaker giving tidbits, giving ideas on business development. So I saw that space, I saw that vacuum, and then I went to the radio station. I met a few of them. They told me, what do you want to offer? And I said to them, I want to fill this space, talk about business, talk about youth development, talk about motivation and hope. And it's okay, come and do an audition. And so I did my script, because one of the things you notice about radio is that you have to do your scripts. Because you don't have, right now on TV, you use a teleprompter, but on radio, since you're not seeing, you do your script. Again, you have to read as if you are speaking. So there has to be some kind of animation when you're reading. So I did my script, I did the auditioning, and the producer liked it and said, okay, you know what? We'll give you 5 minutes in our magazine program on radio. And that's how I started. Okay, so it may not work like that for some people. Some other people will say, some radio stations will say, okay, provide us content, but we'll have our major radio presenter interview you. So, you get to be interviewed for that segment. And then you can have that regularly and consistently. When they start trusting you and you develop rapport and they start trusting you, they can now give you that segment for you to handle your own. Sometimes the presenter may not be available and say, oh, George, just do it on your own. I know you can do your thing. And that's how you start doing that stuff. That's how I started. So it's not as difficult, but again, it begins with you. It begins with the encoder. Now in the communication, okay, before I go and talk about this process, let me say this carefully. This is so important, that you've got to determine what works in your community. So in Uyo, where I stay, radio works very well, but billboards work very well. So you have to look at it, and we're talking about channel here, communication channel. What works? Okay. For some people, online radio works. For some other people, in Nigeria, online radio doesn't work yet. In Nigeria, online television doesn't work yet. Live streaming is working right now. There was a time in Nigeria when live streaming wasn't working. Radio streaming isn't yet working. Facebook audio live streaming has started working. Some people are embracing it. You have some people do podcasts. Podcast is still catching up. So you have to find out what works, because this will determine your conversion rates. Your channel, that is your platform in the media, your channel determines your conversion rates. So you want to start selling, if you want to start making money, you have to be particular about your channel. Now, the reason why TV is stronger than radio is because radio only has to deal with your audio. It's audio, but TV is visual and audio. So it has 5 times more impact than radio. But radio plays a major role. People people's imagination are stirred whenever they listen to radio. So I have to clear that off the air. So the communication process has the encoder, has the code, has the decoder, has the channel, and has the feedback. Those are the basic 5. So if you're looking at radio and want to succeed in radio, we have to start with you. We have to start with you. What substance, what value do you have? It boils down to that. How you are knowledgeable in a particular matter, but how in-depth are you? What makes you different from the radio presenter? Can people listen to you and say, wow? Can people hear you and find out that you're displaying more unusual knowledge in relationships? Okay. Are you saying something that nobody is saying? Are you presenting value from a different standpoint? Let me give you an example about that. Somebody goes on radio and says, I want to talk about human rights. He's a lawyer. I want to talk about human rights. I want us to look at the Constitution, what the Constitution says on human rights. And I create and ask, a program along those lines. You'll be amazed that radio stations will give you the opportunity to probably be interviewed regularly or to run your own show for free. Because not many radio stations have human rights, explanations from the Constitution. Does it make sense to you, Kingsley?
Yes,
so you
yes,
also
it
have,
does.
So you also have stations like a health program that is giving out health tips for pregnant women. I know a woman who does a radio program on radio for children, for parents, for pregnant women. Those are ideas that you can bring up and get quick response. A friend of mine in Uyo does a program on radio. It's very exciting. He's interviewed though regularly, and it's a program. It's tech, your phone and technology. So the new apps coming up, the new things going on. He goes to the radio station and says, "Look, let's talk about technology on your radio program." So new app, new stuff, and beyond that, he talks about social media business and technology, and so on and so forth. And it's gotten entry. So it begins with you. What substance, what knowledge, what skill, what expertise do you have that will separate you, that will make the radio station wow? So that's basically that. And when they give you, they usually will give you a time to say, okay, do a pilot. There's something called pilots or pilot copy in radio, where you do like a mock, like something to present to them. The producers will listen to it. If it's something that can attract them, that can be interesting to them, then they'll listen to you. Then they'll say, okay, you come to the program. So sometimes they might say, no, we want you to pay money. Then you can negotiate again and tell them, you know what, give me 1 year, 13 weeks or 26 weeks. Let me do this program and build a fan base. Eventually, we can talk about getting sponsorship, and then you paying money. We split the profits. Right. So the thing you must realize that the fastest way to get a radio opportunity is to have substance. That first of all, listen to the radio. Make sure you're listening very carefully. Listen, there's something on radio. We have what is called the prime time. Prime time is from 7 a.m. or 6:30 a.m. down to 11 a.m. That's prime time. And any advert around that period is very huge. You pay a lot of money for the jingles that go on that period. Prime time between 6:30 a.m. and 11 p.m. Any program around that point is strong, and then it's effective. You can get a lot of results there. Then they have non-prime time. That's from 12 noon down till 4. 4 p.m. is rush hour, and it's also has a lot of huge following. So whatever program between 4 p.m. and 10 p.m. or 9 p.m. is also another prime time. So we have 2 prime times in a day. So you want to find a way to be on prime time. For you to be on prime time, you're going to have a lot of listeners, and therefore your program has to be so unique. So it begins with you. It begins with the encoder. The encoder must have a lot of charisma, must have a lot of content, must be able to communicate that content effectively. That means it must be some kind of eloquence. The challenge with radio is that they're not seeing your face. So you have to animate a lot. You have to use your voice a lot. The tonality has to be top notch so that you can make impact, even if you have content. Like I tell people on radio, content is important, but content is not king. On radio, content is important, but content is not king. What is king is delivery. Delivery is king. That okay, you can have great content, but if you're not able to deliver it, then it's an issue. So the encoder, that's the person, the source of information, must be confident, must be charismatic, must be credible, must be competent. By that I mean that you must have some level of experience and expertise and competence in that area. The next important thing is the code. So if you're going to do any stuff, make sure that the code, that's the message. The message, what you're putting out there should be so unique and should be a little deep. Go from surface to depths. People respond to depths. people respond to depth. So whatever you want to sell, even if you're a motivational speaker, make sure you're selling depth. You're doing the extra, you're going the extra mile. That's what the radio manager, the station manager will respond to. That's what the producers respond to: depth, uniqueness. All right. And then so depth is important as much as delivery, but depth is important. The next important thing is your channel. Okay. That channel is a radio. When you start going on radio station, you need to understand the microphone for right. So what happens on radio is this: you can either be doing a live program or you can do a recorded program. Live program, lots of people who do live programs have radio frights. That was on radio, and they are scared because people are listening to you at the very moment you're speaking. So you have to develop confidence in yourself, else you're going to mess up yourself. Because you can have a lot of information, but the awareness that people are listening to you at this very moment, and all your gap fillers, all of your mistakes can be very troubling. So you've got to be very careful about the environment, understand the environment, get used to the place, and respond confidently. So the next important thing is the decoders. Now in radio, we don't say, I'm going to the financial part, how to start getting conversion, but you need to follow this line of thoughts. On radio, you don't say the audience, you don't say audience, because you don't have an audience on radio. If you did mass communication, if you did radio, you have only one person. So you assume that you're speaking to just one person. Even on television, they tell you, you say you. You don't say listeners on radio, you say listener. You don't say viewers on TV, you say viewer. Because the assumption is that one person is listening to you. The assumption is that one person is watching you per time. So you address the person. So you speak as though you're not speaking to a crowd, like public speaking. You speak to one person. So the dynamics are quite different. The way you speak in a crowd is not the same way you're going to speak on radio. You've got to be very careful about that. So the decoder, now there are people your listeners who will connect to you if you're very tonal, if you're very emotional, you have a lot of emotion in your voice, your vocal variety is so vital, your inflection, your expressions, the way you add different shades of meaning in your expression, because at the end of the radio is about animation, it's about delivery, it's about compensating for the visual deficiency. People are not seeing you, so they need to hear you and feel you, and you need to inspire their imagination through dialogue, humor, insight, description, storytelling. Very, very important. So that's what makes you appealing on radio, so that you can be the love of the ears, else people will leave you. So you need to be very careful about. So in the audience, you have three kinds of audiences whenever you're on radio. The first kind of audience are the ones that are driven by content. We used to have a radio presenter on, I think it was in Port Harcourt at some point, a Love FM or one of these radio stations. He came into Uyo, and he was on Inspiration FM. Inspiration FM is,
yes, I know him. I know him. His name is Jeff Q. There is this other guy too. What's his name? We used to call him the king of Bunga. He was Slow Eyes, exactly. That guy is phenomenal.
Phenomenal. He had a stint here a while before he left. Jeff Q was here for a while before he moved to Channels Television. Very fantastic friend. So what made Jeff Q unique on radio was that he was not just a presenter, he was a teacher. People respond to depth a lot. People respond to depth. So you could hear him give out content, loads and loads of content. And so you need to be content driven. You need to have value to give through content. So so there are people who are driven, who are content decoders or content. The people who are content decoders or content listeners. So when they listen, they are particular about content. They don't just want presentation. They don't just want information. They want content. There are some other people who respond to feeling. They want you to feel you, and that will determine their buying decision. The content guys will buy from you, will call you up, will attend your seminar, will do stuff with you if they know you have a lot of content. The feeling guys, that's the feeling decoders, will respond to you. They know that you are very emotional, you're very passionate about what you're talking about. There's expression, there's tonality. They respond to you because of that. And then the last set of people are the visuals. The visuals want to see. So they take the words you're saying and they convert them to pictures. And so you have to know how to put people into trance. And that's what radio does for you. Radio gives you the opportunity to put people into trance, to put them in another world, to put them into states of emotion, states of visual, hypnotic emotion. So you can say words to them and they see you. There are folks who do late night chit chats, late night evening programs. And then these people are trained to get you into the mood, into the love mode, into the romantic mood. You see, it's a training. You need to understand that. For those who are into business people, there has to be some expectation, some motivation, that people can know I can do this. Startups, motivation was very high. All right. And so some people want to see things. So you have the V decoders, the F decoders, and the C decoders. VFC, visual, feeling, and content driven. These guys are your audience, and then you've got to, so as you do radio, you want to reach out to them. This is important because it determines the feedback. Now the feedback is where you get the money, where you get the calls, where you get the engagement, where you get them to say, I like what you're doing. Maybe you do a program. You see some folks who do program on radio and nobody calls them, nobody calls them, because it was not as impactful, because they did not recognize that they have V decoders, they have F decoders, they have C decoders on radio, because the encoder himself did not communicate that much to those people. So, but once you get that right, you start getting feedbacks. And that's how it is. So what I do on radio is that I give so much value. People can resist a sales pitch, but they will not resist a teacher. They won't resist the gift of knowledge. I mean, you can be very, no, I don't want to be sold. I don't want to be sold. But if you have any perception that this guy that is speaking to me is a teacher, this guy that is speaking to me is a consultant, you respond. I mean, we can resist a sales pitch, but will not resist the gift of knowledge. So everybody's looking for knowledge. Everybody's looking for knowledge. So position yourself as a consultant, as a teacher, and you will sell more. Teachers sell faster than sisters sell more. You sell more. You will not just have buyers, you will have followers. You will not just have buyers, you not just have customers, you have clients. Customers are people who buy from you. Clients are people who buy from you and have a relationship with you. So you don't want to have just customers, you want to have clients. So when you position yourself as a teacher and they can perceive you as a teacher, it will not be very hard for them to start parting away with money. They will start parting with money. So what I used to do is that I'll teach so much, and then I'll tell them, you know what, I have a free gift for you. I want you to come for a free seminar. Usually radio will say that if you do any kind of advert in your free opportunity or free program, then we call it commercial. That means you're supposed to pay. So what I'll do is I'll tell them that when I finish this conversation, I'm going to invite you for a free. I want people to come for a free training, maybe offline training, or maybe WhatsApp training. So that's okay, no problem. Since it's free, it's not commercial. So I'll just tell them I'm getting it somewhere. So I'll do that and I'll say, okay, there's a free training holding at so and so time. All you simply have to do is just text interested to this number. If the radio station gives me the opportunity to put out my number, fantastic. So just text interested to this number, and then I'll send you a ticket. I'll send you a code number that you can come for that seminar. So only if you receive the code number, then you can come for the seminar. And they'll be excited. So when we're done with it, I read out my number and tell them, send this text, send this interested to this number, and they do that. Once they do that, after the radio program, I go back home and I word a text for them. I tell them that I've sent you a code, but you need to go and pick up a ticket at this location. So the location will be maybe supermarket, or then I used to have an office. So I'll say, come to my office and pick the ticket. You have the code. This code, when you go to this place, you are going to get a ticket. Or you go to the supermarket, you're going to show them this text I've sent to you, and then you're going to get a ticket. That ticket gives you free access to that free event or free seminar. Now, it is very deliberate, Kingsley. It's very deliberate what I'm doing. So once I do that, you can have like 100 or 200 people who send in text messages, and then you send them those messages. Out of the 100 or 200, maybe 70 will go to that spot, and pick up the ticket. Now, because they sent the text message, what that means is that on the radio, over 1 million people listen to you, but only 200 people responded via text message, right? That's a level of commitment. Then you responded, you send them another text message to go pick up tickets. So out of 200, 70 people went out there and picked up tickets. That's another level of commitment. Those 70 people that go to pick up that level of those tickets for free will be at your events. So that's one way I used to do. So I'll do that, and I'll have like my hall will be filled. I could have like 100 people who would come to that event. Now, when they come for my event, I am not going to just teach them some more. I'm going to sell. We have what's called the back end products. So I'll sell my product. I'll sell small seminars. I'll sell more trainings, and people start paying because they now know they've listened to me on radio, gotten first value. They're now coming right now to physical meeting with me, and they're getting another value, and they're like, wow, this guy must be my teacher. What does he have? I want to buy. I want to be trained. So that's one way you can use radio to pack up your halls. Even if you're not advertising, do it totally for free. The radio presenters will not see that coming. Now, if they don't allow you to put your phone number, there's another way to it. Usually on radio stations, they allow you to put your social media handles, your Facebook account, your website if you have one, your Instagram handle, your Twitter handle. So now what you're going to do basically is that if you have a website you're revealing out, make sure that the first thing that anybody goes to see there is your phone number or an information that can make them send text message for XYZ program. So you tell them, okay, my handle is, I'd like you to just send a message to my handle, send a message, interested, and I'll reach back to you. My handle is at George Essien PPC. That's my Twitter handle. My Instagram is, okay. So they now know that, okay, they're not giving you a phone number, they're giving you a platform for you to collect data, because it's about data. And once you do that, you're able to pack up halls that way using radio. I pack up halls, and when I pack up the halls, it's about numbers. Out of 70, 100 people who will come for that event, at least 10, 20 will buy my product worth 10,000 or 5,000 naira. So that's how I used to sell using the radio strategy. Now, there are other ways you can do it. Okay, so you can also, if they give you the opportunity, okay, so if you have a radio, if they give you the opportunity to be the solo presenter, because there are times when they say, okay, don't do interview, we'll give you time, okay, we'll give you 1 year, or we'll give you 13 weeks, first quarter or second quarter. What do you do to raise money to pay for the next quarter if you want to do that? So I'm giving you 2 quarters to go ahead and do your stuff. So on radio, every time you're on radio, you must be teaching to pitch. You teach and then you pitch. You teach and you pitch. You teach and you pitch. That's the way to go about it. You pitch and then you start getting results. So that's another strategy that you can use to get results. So that simple thing I've just shared with you earlier is something that you need to try. Okay, so in continuing, I would like to say that it all begins with the confidence of the encoder. The encoder must have confidence. If you don't have confidence, convinces. Confidence is a platform for the display of charisma. It convinces. If you don't have confidence, there's something we call congruency. That is when your words and your physiology, your words and your appearance, the way you look aligned. Now, if I go to a station manager and I'm having a conversation with him, and I'm telling him I want to pitch. I'm a novice, I'm a newbie, but I want to pitch. What the radio presenter is looking at is for confidence. He wants congruency. He wants to see that what you're saying matches with your appearance. There has to be a certain level of certainty, else the radio station manager will look at you and say, look, you can work. So a lot of people don't get resolved because they don't have confidence. When two people meet, the person who has more confidence determines the direction of influence. So you need to have certainty in your body, certainty in your vocal, certainty in your visual, so that when you're going to meet to pitch for those things, it's not difficult to get the kind of results you're looking for. So again, it begins with your confidence. It also begins with the level and the depth of content you have. Then also it's important that you communicate very well. So if I go to a radio station, I'm not just going to be telling them what I want to do, because they don't care about what I want to do. They don't care about my presentation. They don't care about how valuable I think my presentation is. It has to be a problem that they have, or a lacuna. Oh, you don't have a late night evening program that talks on relationships, romantic relationships. The ones I'm seeing, I'm sure I can give you a better value. If you give me, I can do a pilot for you and then present it to you. I'm sure it's going to be better than whatever you have there, or whatever you have there does not go in depth. So you're talking about that late night. You don't have something on technology, business and technology. You don't have something on startups. You don't have something on legals, on health. So you're very, very solution driven. You're looking at a problem. You're listening to the radio program and you tell them, in fact, you run through their programs and tell them, this is what you can do, this, or you can retweak this. And they are now driven by you. So, okay, this guy has the answer to us, and then if we get him, we have more listeners. So that's basically what you have to do. You need to have confidence, competence, charisma, congruency, certainty, because it influences whether you get the free up or not. And even when they don't, even some of them will say, okay, come for interviews regularly. And that's how I actually started. I started doing interviews on radio. I'll be there, and then I'll be the one. I'll be interviewed. I'll give my content. Like, wow, this guy is good. One day they called me and told me, George, can you just do it on your own? I said I can do it on my own, and I did my stuff very well. They called me again, George, you can actually interview somebody else. So I said, no problem. So wow. I interviewed somebody. I said, then after a time, they said, George, you can actually make money from radio. I say, how? if you look out for rich people, if you reach out for rich, successful business people, and then you interview them, there's something we call PR on radio. So when the rich man is going, he's going to give you some PR. Some other people, you tell them they can advertise their business on your platform, and then they pay. And you get a XYZ percentage. And I started doing that. I started reaching out to my business friends. They'll come on radio, I'll do that. Then another time somebody came and saw me, you do so well on radio. Can you replicate this on television? I said, I can do. So come for audition. I was on television. I did television for a while. In fact, I did television for 7 years or more. And then I thought, okay, I can do it on the internet. So that's how radio is powerful. And if you follow these tips I've shared with you, Kingsley, I tell you, your life won't be the same. Radio exposed me. My name became popular, and people started calling me for invitations, speaking engagement. They wanted me to MC their event. They wanted me to speak at their event, and I would get honorarium. Then later I put a price tag, and that's how I grew and grew. I did TV for a while. I became quite popular in my community. So I at some point I realized, look, I can't be local anymore. And that's why I had to integrate the internet. I became more aggressive with the internet, and that's how I got big jobs. By being aggressive on the internet, I started getting MTN, DHL, big jobs. I saw the you win opportunity on the internet. I embraced it. I became 10 million naira richer. I embraced other opportunities. I became 32 million naira richer just because I knew how to transition. So radio can be a start for somebody, but evolve into television and into the internet. Or you can do all of them at the same time and see what works for you. So I don't know if you have any question for me, but basically those are my thoughts. A lot of things to share, but those are my thoughts on how you can go about it. I hope this makes sense.
Amazing. It does make a lot of sense to me, and I'm looking at the comment sections right now, and I'm getting the feedback coming in. Somebody is saying, "Oh, great! I'm live here with George Essien." By the way, you can start dropping your questions because if you have listened to George for the past 15-20 minutes, you would know he's someone that has content. Let's milk him, but pardon me if I use that word, but let's get the best out of George tonight. So someone is saying, Kai, Mr. George Essien is loaded up there again, with two hands of like, I twirl for you. Yes, he is. And then somebody is showing a pen that is writing. Another person is saying hi. So feel free to drop your questions. Mr. George has really dropped a lot of tips. And I want to affirm what he just said about listening to a radio station. So you look up for a particular radio station and you listen to their different programs, and you find out exactly which of them that they don't have that you can pitch an idea to. So let me give you a typical example. I'm going to share that in my session at the end of the entire series, but I am on TV today. I've been on TV consistently for the past, I think we went on break, but if we put it all together, I've been on TV for 3 months now. What happened was that I was recommended to be on one of their shows, the youth social conversation show. So I went on that show, and by the time I was done, instantly, because I'm a man that I always have ideas, I always generate ideas by observation. So I looked at him and I said to the guy, the anchor guy on the TV, by the way, Salvation TV. So I told him, like, you know what? Why don't you guys put up a show, a business show every morning, where you have business people come and give business tips after your newspaper review? I said, that would be a great idea. I said, okay, no problem. And I left. He took that idea. Of course, every person that is anchoring a show wants to show the manager that he's proficient, he has amazing idea. So he took the idea, sold it to the manager, to the studio manager. The manager bought it, and guess who they called? They called me, Kingsley. I spoke with my manager and he agreed. So let's have that show on. So I was literally, and up till now, I literally still recommend people, and I'm waiting for George. Any day George comes to Port Harcourt, I'm going to make sure he's on TV, But the point is that I observed that they didn't have one show that I can be of value to. So I recommended to, that was how I became a regular every week on television. So you need to pick a radio station in your city, whether you're in Abuja, whether you're in Lagos, whether you're in Jos, Enugu, Owerri, or whether you are any part of the world, in Ghana, in Ethiopia, depending on where you're listening or watching this from. And then you need to listen to look at the radio station and find out one particular area that they are not having a show on, and pitch it that it will connect with what you do. So thank you, Mr. George, for that. I just wanted to affirm that. Now let me ask you, sir. You said something. Go ahead, sir.
Fantastic. Well done.
All right. So there's a question here. And by the way, if you don't have your notes, I have my notes. I've been jotting down. this is full already. So if you're not writing, you should be writing down something. So you said something about on radio, teach to pitch. Now we have some people here who are I know someone here whose business is, she's into makeup. She's a makeup expert in Abuja. She's part of the family. I know there's an insurance manager, someone who's into insurance here. I know there are a couple of business people. I know there's a network marketer in here, and they're listening right now. I know there are young thought leaders, who are also in the space, and they are also listening. So I like to ask, could you use that as an example? Maybe a makeup. How can a makeup artist, teach to pitch on radio, or you can interchange it without any of these individuals that I've mentioned? Please remember to drop your questions as George Essien is attending to us. Go ahead, sir.
All right. So teach to pitch is very, very important, because you see the future of enterprise is education. The future of business is education. So the way the world is going right now, you can't keep selling. You can't be hard sell. You can't just advertise like that. You want to be perceived, like I said, as a teacher. So the future of enterprise or business is education. So if you're a makeup artist, it's better to position yourself as a teacher of makeup or of beauty tips or of skin texture and all of that, than to be positioned as a seller of makeup or someone who is involved in makeup. When people understand that now and then you're on radio or even on your Facebook account, you are giving tips, freebies on how to massage your face, the benefits of it, the health benefits, the psychological benefits of your physiology as it impacts your psychology, then people can respond to you and want to know more. I want to buy your product. If you teach them, they will buy from you. For the network marketer, network marketing is where that even applies a lot. A lot of people are trying to get you to sign up into their business. You've got to be careful. Don't join that bandwagon. Be positioned as a teacher. Okay, don't be positioned as a network marketer. People will resist you. All right, they'll avoid you. So if they see you as someone who teaches life, who teaches business, I'm telling you, they'll respond to you. Same thing to the insurance guy. The insurance guy should know that, look, talk about the future, talk about assurance, talk about people not planning their lives, and then you can now sell. So that's my take on it, and it has always worked for me. I make crazy money because I teach first. I make a lot of money. I mean, I'm not joking about. I make lots of money from just this principle, and I teach my followers. I say, look, keep giving out value. Keep giving out value. People will pay you a lot of money because you're a teacher. All right, so that's what I encourage them to do. When you have radio, when you're on radio, when you have any opportunity to be on radio, make sure you're giving out back-to-back content. And that's why it all lies into you. You say you're a makeup artist. How good a makeup artist are you? How much knowledge do you have about your business? Not just skill. And I said the future of enterprise is education, is teaching. So how can you communicate that to people? Once they can perceive it, they'll connect with you. That's the
amazing.
Yeah.
Wow, thank you so much. Now, there's a question that is running through my head now, because there are certain radio stations, for instance, that are so powerful. When I mean the word powerful, they are so revered in a certain community, in a certain city, that getting a shot at that radio station is like blowing your brand in the face of the top people all over that city and beyond the city. I give a typical example. I am currently residing or based in the city of Port Harcourt, and in the city of Port Harcourt, as far as I am concerned, Nigeria Info is the topmost of it, and a lot of top business individuals, a lot of top business guys, they listen to that radio station. And because the radio station already know the kind of caliber of people they get, getting a chance to get a free session in regular for free is kind of, let me use the word, tentatively looks slim. So how I don't know, how can someone who, apart from that fact that we need to identify what problem or what show they don't have, what other thing can we do as a newbie that wants to break in and get a shot at that station, sir?
Okay, so if you don't want to go straight to the station and pitch your proposal, give them solutions, the next thing you can do is to become a very vivid, active fan. Let them know everything. I mean, there are people on radio I listen to. I know, oh, this person has called. Lewis has called. You keep calling regularly. And all the time, when you call in for their calling programs, you're giving quality content. You're engaging them, so that if for whatever reason you call any representatives and say, oh, my name is Lewis, let me introduce, oh, are you the one that calls us regular on radio? Oh, how are you doing? What's up? From that angle, you can now introduce your ideas. So you can choose to become, for Nigeria Info, to be a very regular caller, especially for the programs you feel that you can tweak or you can invent, and then you give out content as a caller, just as a caller. You do that for a few months and you'll be surprised. They will know you. They'll say, very soon this guy is going to call, and he calls, how are you? You engage them, and then subsequently, if you call them after the radio program, they will listen to you more about whatever program. They say, okay, come around, let's see you, let's have a conversation. So it can happen to any radio station. Become a better radio in caller, and then you get results. That is a second strategy. It may take longer. It may take longer, but eventually you get the result you're looking for, even for big stations. Big radio stations.
Wow.
But if you're bold and you're confident, you can go straight up there, find the solutions, have competency, pitch, and then get the results you're looking for.
Amazing, fantastic. Now, talking about confidence, there's a question on confidence. But before you do that, I want to affirm and just confirm what you just said. Now I understand. Now, in the city of Port Harcourt also, because I have been listening to radio a whole lot. There's this radio station called Nigeria Love FM. So they have their 1 hour sports show in the evening on a particular day of the week. Every time they have this show, there's this guy called Pastor Smart. Pastor Smart will call in and give incisive football analysis. And not just football, sports generally. He did that so consistently for almost 3 months or thereabouts, that one day the presenter said, you know what, we need to have Pastor Smart as one of our guests on this show. Pastor Smart, let us talk tomorrow. Next week, we're going to have you on the show. And to cut the story short, Pastor Smart is heading that radio station now.
Wow.
He's not just a guest on the radio station. He moved on to become one of their top sports presenter. And right now, he has moved from not just being a sports presenter on Love FM to even their news and current affairs presenter. And of course, you cannot have been there for a long time without becoming their staff. So what you just said now is a fantastic. Now I understand the strategy that Pastor Smart used. So quickly, there's a question here. Somebody said, how can one develop confidence to talk on radio live without breaking words? How can one develop confidence to talk live on radio without breaking words? Quickly, before George goes to answer the question, if you have a question, quickly, our time is winding down, so you might want to drop your question and then we go. Go ahead, sir.
All right, so that question you've asked me can take us another 3 hours, 3 days, 3 months, because we're going, I mean, it's a huge question, but this much I'll tell you. Confidence is a combination of two things: your attitude and your aptitude. Attitude and aptitude. Attitude is not something you are born with. You pick it up, you develop it over a period of time. And attitude is a function of what you hear, what you see, how you behave. All right, all of that form, and what you behave, all of that, and how you feel, all of that form your attitude. So it's acquired. Attitude is acquired. So you have bad attitude. You also have good attitudes. Confidence and attitude. And so you can acquire confidence, okay, as an attitude. And there's so much to say about that. From what you hear on a regular basis, what you keep hearing, you eventually will believe, and then what you believe, you become. That's how confidence is what you keep hearing and believing, and it's an attitude. Same thing, what you're seeing, how you're feeling, and what you're behaving, what you're doing. But confidence is also an aptitude. That means it's at a level of intelligence. So if you're going to do live presentation, you've got to have what we call the speaker intelligence or the speaker aptitude. Preparedness will give you confidence. So by being prepared, you want to have all of your facts around, know what you're saying, have a sequence. I tell my students in public speaking school that to be prepared as a speaker, you have to know your subject, but that's not all. You have to know the kind of audience you're speaking to, the kind of audience you're speaking to. Number 3, you need to know the outcome, the purpose. Why are you giving this presentation? And then number 4, you want to know the sequence. The sequence means the arrangement. So you know what first thing you're saying, second thing, third thing, fourth thing. You know your opening, your body, and your close, your primacy, and your recency. So that's the structure. So if you have all 4 of them together, that is your subject, your audience, you know that thing, your purpose, and your sequence, you are prepared. So preparedness is a form of intelligence. Preparedness is an aptitude. So attitude plus aptitude equals confidence. and you need confidence. But there is more to this. However, I'll just tell you this much: you can pick up your attitude by listening more, seeing more things that give you confidence, and then you can also develop the intelligence by preparing well for that live program. And the chances that you will flop in that presentation is slimmer. But there's much more to say, but that's much I can say within the confines of what we're doing today. All right.
Okay, there's a very long question here, so I'm just going to kind of summarize it and pick one or two. The person said, a trivia junkie. I'm a trivia junkie who's won so many trivia quizzes, including becoming top prize winner in MTN's Who Wants to Be a Millionaire season 13. Wow. Said I've also begun a trivia group on Facebook called Smart Tacos Africa, where we give out small cash prizes for 4 times a week to quiz takers. And I'm looking for a space to anchor trivial talks on radio. How do I go about this, Mr. George? So
it's something we said. We're saying that, look, go. Where are you? Where's your location? Are you in Port Harcourt? Are you in Lagos? Are you in your listen to the radio stations? Notice whether they are doing that kind of thing you're doing. If they're doing it, what can you do that is different, that is unique, that is special, that is out of this world, that's amazing, that is wow, and then reach out to them. All right. You can either be a call-in person or you reach out to them. You know, do your pilot audio, go there, show it to them, and then tell them. If they still insist on getting money from you, tell them to give you time. That if you do your program well enough in 13 weeks or 1 quarter, subsequently you're going to pay them, and it's actually very possible. I know people who make a lot of money from what they did was that they had that free time initially. They got a huge following, and then they had people now sponsoring their program, and then the radio station had made so much money just from that. So you can use that strategy too. I didn't get to pay at all. I just kept giving content, and even on television. So you can use that strategy to get across to them. So listen very carefully to whether they have that kind of program, and then create your own unique approach.
Amazing. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Mr. George. Okay, the guy said he's in Lagos. So, of course, you've gotten that. Quickly, one last question because we are wrapping up. I think we are really enjoying ourselves. Okay, so someone is saying, what are other strategies to use while pitching a radio station? Example, network marketer. So I know you shared an idea. So what other strategy? I'm sure the person is a network marketer. So he's saying, what other strategy can I use to pitch, to get a slot at being featured on radio?
Now, for network marketing, there's something called the NBC, National Broadcasting Commission, NBC. Yes, they regulate radio a whole lot. They regulate radio a whole lot. So they don't allow for network marketing, as it were. In those days, they used to allow it, but a lot of network marketers came on radio and abused that privilege. So NBC regulates and can even find the radio station. So you have to be more subtle in your approach. You can choose business. You can use business to get into network marketing. You can use many other areas, health, to get into network marketing. So the first thing we should listen to and hear from you shouldn't be the network marketing approach. Should be rather the overall alternative or multiple streams of income, finance, retirement plan, all that other area before. When they now meet you out of radio, they get to know that you're pitching a network marketing business because of NBC. So that's my take on that question.
Awesome. Thank you very much. So, okay, someone had asked for your Twitter handle. I'm sure you're going to drop all your socials so people can connect with you. But one last thing, please.
So what I'd like you to do is I have a special gift for everyone here. I have a special gift for anyone who's listening, I have a special gift for you. So my phone number is 081-87-133-153. If you're in Nigeria and you're watching this, it's
slow it down. Slow it down. It's fast. Oh yeah, take it now, sir.
Okay. 081-87-133-153. I'll say one more time. 081-87-133-153. 153. I have a gift for you. It's on how to sell anything to anyone. It costs 2,500 naira, but I'm going to give it to everybody who reaches out to me for free. So just send,
Wow.
that's my WhatsApp number also. So reach out to me on that WhatsApp number and say, hi, I listened to you on this program and I want to get the free audio, how to sell anything to anyone. And I would send it to you for free. I'd like to be your friend. So just reach out to me. God bless.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Okay, so we're wrapping it up now. If you want to meet George, connect with George more, you can connect with George, or somebody has even typed it on the comment section. Fantastic. Thank you. You can connect with George on Instagram, George Essien, George Essien, or on Facebook. Once you just Google George, let's just type George Essien on Facebook. You're sure going to see it. And one more place I don't want you to miss. Check out www.georgeassien.com. Am I right?
Yeah, yes,
beautiful.
Yes.
Essien.com, and you're going to connect with him much more. www.georgeassien.com. George, of course, the normal English George. Essien is ESSIEN.com. And you're going to get a lot more from connecting with him. You can hook him up on YouTube as well. He's been doing amazingly well on YouTube these days. So I'm connecting with George, or I'm following him rather, also joining the YouTube community. So you can also do that. And someone was asking in summary, said, please, is there any book you can recommend to us that will explain how to acquire confidence in elaborate, since the explanation is more here? Okay, like I said, once you connect with George, you're going to get... Reach out to George Essien. Once you reach out to him, you're going to get amazing. I'm getting a lot of comments on the comment section. Wow, somebody is saying, wow, awesome, sir. Thank you very much. That's Ejiro. Ejiro is saying, wow, wow, awesome. Thank you. Somebody is saying, thank you. Another person is saying, please answer my last question. Keep up the good work. What's the text to send it to your mobile again? Okay, to his mobile number, just send, I am part of the Be on Radio for free training. I am part of Be on Radio for free training. Send it on WhatsApp to him. I want to claim the gift you're giving out for free. Be on Radio training. I am from Be on Radio for free training. I want to get a gift. Once you do that, it's going to respond. So for somebody that said they have not answered the second part of my question, I think George has answered almost all. If I'm missing it, I'm sure we'll check it out again, and then we'll drop it on the comment section. It's been an amazing time with George Essien. I feel like calling him Mighty George, but somebody has that brand name already. So, yes, it's amazing to have George Essien any day, anytime. I don't begin my year if I don't sit and listen to George Essien. For the past 2 years, before I start the beginning of the year, I go visit him in his city. I sit with him, and he looks through all what I want to do, and he tells me, do this, don't do this, do this, don't do this. If you listen to George and you watch him for the past 40 minutes, you would realize he's someone that has in-depth knowledge and experience, but the time is very limiting. So you might want to connect with him. Check out his website, www.georgeassien.com, and then you're going to get a lot more. Your final parting words, sir.
All right, so whatever we hope to do with ease, we must first do with diligence. So if you're going to succeed in life easily, then right now you have to be very, very diligent and consistent. I wish you the best, guys. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, guys. So it's been an amazing one. Tomorrow we're going to have yet another amazing speaker come on and wow us on practical steps on how we can get on radio for free. I think the scale is beginning to fall off our eyes. We're beginning to see the possibility that we're gonna actually be on radio for free. Please send a WhatsApp message. That was the instruction. Somebody's asking. Send a WhatsApp message on that number and you will get to George Essien. Once again, I'd like to say thank you, all of you. And thank you. Bye-bye. It's going to be an honor. Thank you so much, all of you.